Well, this time of the year, everyone wants to have a New Year's resolution, and plenty of those resolutions are going to be how to eat better, how to get in better shape, how to be fit. So we brought in the world's second most famous Cara, that's Allison Cara, Kenny Cara's wife. She's a dietitian, and she's going to give us some helpful hints of how to be healthier in 2019. And Allison, you wanted to start with healthy snacking, so kind of explain what that is.
It does sound cliche, but it's true. Fruits and vegetables are very important. Actually, the CDC stated that 1 in every 10 adults don't get enough fruits and vegetables. So we can all work towards getting more fruits and vegetables. They're very important. They provide vitamins and minerals for us. They are immune boosting. I know a lot of people in the new year, January, February, in the cold months, they are concerned about getting sick, and it's a great natural way to boost your immune system. There's actually a really great website you can go to. It's fruitsandveggiesmorematters.org. Some really great recipes and some tips on there.
And then one thing with veggies too, should we watch, I guess potatoes would be a very good example of this because, well, potato, it's a vegetable, but too much and especially if you're eating them fried like French fries and stuff, it can be not good for you at the same time too, right?
That's true, and there is a very small subsect of something called starchy vegetables, and those you want to limit. That would be your potatoes, your corn. Corn isn't really a super nutritious vegetable, so I would really limit the corn and choose more colorful vegetables instead, like your peppers and carrots and things like that.
Another thing that's important, too, to keep in mind when you're trying to, whether it's lose weight or just be healthier all together, is water consumption. You want to make sure that each day you're taking in the right amount of water, right?
Absolutely. A lot of people tend to think we need to drink water in the summer, but it's very important in the winter as well, especially when you're indoors and there's that dry heat running. You sometimes can dry out, and it's important to get water as well.
And you don't have to overdo it, right? Because we see people walking around with a gallon of water each day, right? You were saying before, you don't have to get crazy with it, right? Just increase it by a cup, right?
Absolutely. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I need to be drinking a gallon of water a day. Even if you drink an extra glass, it's still an extra that you are drinking. And what's even better is if you're a soda drinker, if you can replace one of those drinks of soda with water, you're going to see actually some calorie loss.
Yeah, I like what you said about soda, because I'm going to bring up for alcohol for people that are over the age of 21. I remember I saw a post from before I turned 21, I weighed 183 pounds, and I was like, how did I get down to 183 when I'm 190 now? I can't get any lower than 190. And it was, well, you know what? I wasn't 21. I wasn't drinking alcohol on the weekends. So replacing water instead of that beer, too, makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Alcohol in moderation is fine, but really think of it in calorie-wise. Think of it like a candy bar. Each glass of wine or bottle of beer that you have, there are calories attached to that, and it is kind of the equivalent of a candy bar. And then some people do that as well, kind of like you mentioned. Throughout the week, they won't have any, and then the weekend comes and they kind of go a little overboard, whether it be with drinking, going out, or eating as well, like the goodies and the treats or kind of fried food. So it's important to have a balance. There is a concept called the 80-20 rule, and that's kind of nice to keep in the back of your mind. Eat healthy 80% of the time, and 20 kind of indulge a little bit, and that's okay. Because if you constantly are eating super healthy, the pendulum will eventually swing back, and you'll start to really crave those foods you missed. So it's important not to really cut out anything. You can have everything. That's why we say in moderation, because then you'll just kind of overindulge at a later date, and that's what you want to avoid.
Yeah, question on that 80-20 rule. A friend of mine, he's into modeling, and he said the one time I remember on one of his posts where, okay, you see me working out in the gym, that's great, but that's only a small fraction of how you actually get to look good. It's mostly done in the kitchen.
Absolutely. Yep. There's a saying in the training world that abs are made in the kitchen, because it's really important what you eat. So in thinking that way, it's also really good how you plate your meals. A lot of times there are guides for portions for certain things, how much chicken you should really eat at a certain time, or how much 3 ounces is, and sometimes that could be a little bit confusing. So there's a really great website, choosemyplate.gov, and that shows you kind of how to plate your actual plate. It should really be half fruits and vegetables, 1/4 grains, and 1/4 protein. And that's a really great guide that you can take really anywhere, to any restaurant, to kind of help show how you should plate your meals.
And whenever you're going out and you're eating, especially if you're going to be at a place where you could, order multiple times, you should keep in mind, you were saying, before we got on set here, 20 minutes before you think about it, because it takes time for the food to kind of run through and digest and everything?
Yep, absolutely. A lot of people don't realize that it does take time for your stomach to tell your brain that it's full. And that's why mindful eating is so important. It is important to kind of slow down when you eat. One, to really enjoy what you're eating, and two, to kind of slow down and give your body time to adapt and realize what you're eating and to get full. A lot of times we kind of rush through meals and then we think, oh, I'm still hungry, I need something else. And then you feel super stuffed because by that time your stomach has caught up with your brain and it's told you, oh no, I'm too full.
Well, I want to move on to meal prepping now. And I have, like I said before, I have a friend that models, and then I also have another friend that's into powerlifting. And the two of them, whenever, it's usually on Sundays, I always look at their Instagram store, and they're always cooking their food for the week. They like to prep it for the whole entire week. And you said this is very helpful because this way you have to worry about a day where, oh, I'm going to eat bad because I don't have any food. Your food's made for you for the whole entire week. You're ready to go.
Absolutely. Meal prepping is a really beneficial way to not only stay on track with healthy eating, but it saves time and it saves money too. Oftentimes when you go into work, you think, oh, I forgot my lunch. Oh, I'll just order out. And then sometimes there's not healthy options available to you. Some people think it takes a little bit longer, but it really doesn't. If you take like maybe a half hour on Sunday or maybe an hour tops on Sunday and you kind of meal plan your week out, it really does save you from being tempted to kind of eat out and eat kind of the junk food, fast food.
All right, well, that's definitely going to help us on the diet end of it. Let's talk a little bit about working out real quick here for a second, because you also teach Zumba. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
I do teach Zumba. I actually teach in the area. I teach at Healthy Rhythms. It's right off of Broad Street. It's 125 Warren Street in West Hazleton. And exercise is a really great way to not only stay in shape, but it's also great for your mind as well, especially if you've had a rough day and you go home. Sometimes the last thing you want to do is work out, but all you need is to just get the ball rolling. Tell yourself, you know what, I'm just going to do 5 minutes of working out. And 9 times out of 10, you feel so good after that 5 minutes that you complete your workout. And at Zumba, that's what we try to do. We have fun, we motivate you. All you have to do is get there, and I'll motivate you to do the rest.
Yeah, but I say whenever I go for a jog, I feel like the first 5-10 minutes are always the hardest. And after that, you lose track. It's like, oh, I finished a half hour already. Look at that. But real quick with the Zumba too, what days are the classes on and times?
Oh, sure. I teach regular Zumba. That would be Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. And I also teach Zumba toning, which is the same fun dance rhythms, but with free weights. So you get the strength and the cardio. And Zumba toning's Mondays and Thursdays at 6. And regular Zumba's Tuesday at 6.
Well, I'm glad that you came in, Allison, because now I don't have to go to Pinterest or just Google random diets online, because you told everybody we're set for the year now if you watch this segment. So a lot of people now are going to be walking around with six-packs. They're going to be going to Zumba, getting in shape. So it's going to be a great 2019 for everybody out there.